The level 3 community has lots of very sick accomplishments, and here's one of my favorites. Hard Twiddle doing the red reef on the level 3 hardcore Iron Man. This quest has pirate ships that can one-shot him, followed by a whole island of pirates, leading up to a fight where he could be hit for 28 while dealing with melee attacks you can't take heat. And then there's also this lobster. Not every part of the quest can be tough. He was quickly able to figure out that he could trap the pirate ships in a safe spot and stand on the far side of his ship, outside of their range where his cannons could still hit. After that, it was time to recoil the pirates. When I did it, I used a stack of purple sweets, but he didn't have that luxury. He had to one-tick run to a safe spot where he corner-trapped the pirates. With him, he brought a single poison dynamite. He used it on the first pirates, and if he didn't land the poison, he had to tally away and start over. After that, he recoiled the other ones one by one, but collectively they do more damage than he can keep in his inventory. So he had to bring a herb sack of grimy Arlanders and a looting bag full of unfinished Gothic's Rest. By the way, this looting bag smuggle only works on a PvP world. Next up was the hardest fight by far, Black Bethel. He watched another snowflake account by the name Wall Hut running up and down the stairs and turning into a crate. So him and his friend Iron Flash did some testing and found there was a clear combat queue, or CC when you run down the stairs. A CC is pretty complicated, but Twiddle explains it in this video on my YouTube channel. The important part is that when you go through a CC it heals you back to 1 if you have 0 HP and stops any incoming damage. But unlike every other CC in the game, this one has a delay, meaning you have to stall the damage. So him and Flash looked for the shortest stall that could work and came up with the egg ring, thus introducing Egg Tech. The plan is simple: run up the stairs, run back down, and turn into an egg. This has to be done tick perfectly hundreds of times, and a single mistake or spike of lag would cost him his account. He started practicing on his ults, and one time he yellow clicked, meaning instead of running down the stairs, he ran around and got one shot. If this happened on his hardcore, he'd be rocking a gray helm. So he turned off all his plugins except for the blindfold plugin, which he used to eliminate distractions, which just sounds way harder to me. After 2 days of theory crafting and practicing, he poured himself a glass of wine and sent it. The entire fight lasted almost 2 hours. 2 hours where a single misclick or bit of lag would have killed him. But after recoiling hundreds of damage and watching his health hit 0 hundreds of times, he emerged victorious. Even the lobster fight had difficult parts. The lobster has smart pathing, which is meant to make safe spotting impossible, so he has to drag it onto his poison dynamite. If he had hit a 4, the poison would have taken care of the rest of the lobster's health, but he didn't hit high enough and had to recoil the last of it, meaning he needed to be overhealed for every single hit. I also completed this quest on my level 3 just several hours before him, and I put out a video where I showed how I died dozens of times, which is why I think doing it on hardcore is so cool. Hard Twiddle says he's trying to do everything he can in the game as long as it's not going to be random. If it comes down to a skill issue, he's going for it. He asked me to do a shout out to another legendary hardcore level 3 keyboard, who had the attitude of, everyone said this was impossible, but can we spend just a little bit longer on it and prove we can do it? And that's the attitude I try to take into the game with me. Twiddle is an absolute beast and one of many underappreciated gamers in the level 3 community who I want to showcase.